We've passed on all we know.
We are just fresh off of having just seen The Rise of Skywalker yesterday, and kind of coming off a high, but you know, it's already proving to be a polarizing film with reactions. So part of that immediate urge as we're processing this is, where does this fit in within the entire franchise? I'd say number 9, I would put Revenge of the Sith. It was just all over the place.
Other than giving us, you know, the birth of Darth Vader, which was probably everyone's favorite part from that scene, that one kind of has a place.
Yeah, which for me puts it at number 8, puts Attack of the Clones. I felt like it was all over the place. There were enjoyable moments, but the Anakin and Padma stuff for me just was more diverting than uplifting.
But it just didn't click the way it should. I think, honestly, the best thing to come out of the prequels is probably Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
I agree. It felt like a love story frozen in carbonite and couldn't get unfrozen. Number 7, Phantom Menace.
Say what you will about the prequels, we have them at the bottom of our list, but they at least gave us one of the top visual Star Wars moments ever from any of the original 9 Skywalker movies.
So you have sort of the next box set of the next trilogy that, for me, at number 6, you know, what I would say about The Last Jedi, maybe the most singularly polarizing Star Wars film.
For Mark not to get this Luke Skywalker moment of heroism, more so just kind of passing down wisdom grumpily, I think it kind of rubs some fans the wrong way.
Which leads us directly into The Force Awakens.
So The Force Awakens, while not the best of the new trilogy, I think did as good a job as it possibly could, having to use the old cast to satisfy the older fans that are still around, and also bring in a new group of characters to bring in a new generation of fans. Which
Leads us to Rise. And, you know, I'm still processing, buffering, no spoilers, but you have to get through a lot of exposition, new story elements, introduce some new arcs, and in the second half, you have to nod backward to honor the last 42 years.
10-year-old me would have just loved every second of it. But at the same time, I think Rise of Skywalker kind of was a little too predictable. I don't think this new trilogy has a I am your father moment.
And so for me, that's a natural pivot into the trilogy that all this comes from. Because what all these films keep having to do is nod back to things that George did with chronologically the first 3 films. So for me, number 3 would be Return of the Jedi.
Sometimes we have to take a step back and realize that these movies originally were intended for kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone, maybe even Lucas, anticipated that the fandom would grow into what it grew into in terms of comic books and novels and just dedicated fans who've been around for decades. No one could have seen that coming. There's nothing wrong with an Ewok every now and then.
No, not at all. But that leads us to number 2, you know, the one that started it all, A New Hope. What do you think?
You have to rank A New Hope this high just because it's the Big Bang moment of everything. You can't go wrong with the classic, and this is as classic as it gets for Star Wars.
Yeah, but that leads us to number 1, where Lucas was able to have enough of a budget to do it all, and the ideas were still fresh. And that, of course, is The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back is his master painting.
Yeah.
It's, I think when you think about the elements of Star Wars that have really just stayed with a generation of fans and have been passed down to future fans, future generations of people who adore this universe, I think it all goes back to what Lucas accomplished with The Empire Strikes Back.
I agree. So there you have it. That's where we stand. This isn't really the end of anything.
It's a big universe, and they've got tons of space, literally and figuratively, and tons of storytelling potential.
There you go.